time you think of me, your heartbeat is prominent. It's astounding how your words be sounding. It's just be pounding. I'm reigning supreme in all your dreams when you find it necessary to include me in your commentary. I'm major. Every time you wake up, you sign it best like you to one pager. Yeah, I'm major. When you keep sending me a hey girl, I'm major procedures. My gifts and talents can't be repeated. I'm dominant, I'm prominent, I'm significant, I'm relevant, I'm major. I'm major. I'm major. Every time you wake up, you sign it past my YouTube one pager. Yeah, I'm major. When you keep sending me a hey girl, I'm major procedures. My gifts and talents can't be repeated. I'm dominant, I'm prominent, I'm significant, I'm relevant, I'm major. I'm major. Every time you wake up, you slide it past my YouTube one pager. Yeah, I'm major. When you keep sending me a hey girl, I'm major procedures. My gifts and talents can't be repeated.
All right, what's up? How y'all doing today? I know that I'm popping in early. Listen, lots of things popping off over here, okay? Loads and loads of things popping off. Things popping off in Tenley, things popping off in Kankakee. Right now, I am focused, as you can see, on Dolton West uh, School District. Let me edit that. School District 148. I'm going to get to speaking in just a minute. I know it's just a few of us in the room. I'm not concerned about who's in the room, right? We need to tonight we are going to have some exclusive guests on this channel, okay? Hey Foxy Roxy, how you doing? Hey Jim, how you doing? Strawberry Shortcake, how are you? Hey Jody, how you doing? Hey Mr. Troy, how are you? Lots of things popping off. If y'all go to my post um on my page, on my YouTube page, hey producer Mark, you can see there everything that's happening in these Tinley groups with me. I have been suspended from posting, only could post once a day. I went from being suspended from posting, then limited posting to once a day, to being suspended from the group until April the 25th, because of some truths that I posted over there in those groups. So you can go over there, you can join those groups, or you can go to the Village of Tinley Park page, because guess what? They're getting all the work that I can give them on that Village of Tinley Park page today. Okay, that's what they're gonna get. They're gonna get this work because I'm not gonna be bullied. I'm not gonna be intimidated. I'm not gonna be. I'm not in high school. You can't call me names and think that I'm gonna go away. No, you're gonna answer these questions. You're gonna tell us why these pay for play contracts are happening, these no bid alleged contracts are happening, and you just gonna answer these questions. That's what you're gonna do, and I'm gonna keep put the pressure on until you answer them. That's what I'm gonna do. Okay, yeah. Hey Enrique, how you doing? Hey Babe Solo. Yeah, child, I've been cutting up today for sure. Okay, for sure. um Hey, Deb Hill, how you doing? And I'm going to continue to cut up because we are in election season. We are in election time, and the residents need to be informed. We need to know what's going on in our community. We need to know who we should vote for. Okay, and you know, let's just put it out there. We've been asleep at the wheel, right? But that's over now, right? We're going to start researching. We're going to start looking. We're not just going to be like listening to other people because somebody say, oh, they lying. No, go and look for yourself and see if they lying, right? Go look it up for you. Just don't take nobody's word that somebody's lying. Okay, that's okay. Don't do that. Okay, I even told the people when I post, you don't believe me, go over there and look up these things for yourself. Go over there and look them up. Okay, go look and find out, and try to see where the contract bidding happened. Where did it happen? If it didn't, then it didn't happen. Okay, so tonight you guys see that we have a live setup later because we have some exclusive interviews tonight for Dalton West um, school district 148. That would be the school district where they gave the superintendent the raise, right? And the kids are not passing uh, the metrics. So we have some exclusive interviews tonight. But I won't, before we have those exclusive interviews, what I'm going to do is let you watch a meet and greet, okay? That happened. If you all remember the video, if you all, did you all watch the video? Because I believe that Miss Thelma was recording the meeting, and I don't know who else was there, where they voted for this, but you had two board members that did not, that voted no. That one of the board members was Dr. Shalonda Randall, and she was the one that so eloquently spoke and said that she didn't agree and they should not be giving him more money. Because he was holding two positions. He was already getting two paychecks. She was a no. And there was another lady named Andrea Johnson. She was also a no. We are in election time. Elections are happening. So there was a meet and greet that took place on Saturday, which was my birthday, so I could not attend. I was with the firefighters that day. On Saturday, for these particular candidates. And so Dr. Shalonda Randall's seat is up for reelection, and Andrea Johnson is also up for reelection. They had a meet and greet on Saturday, and I have some exclusive footage from the meet and greet. Y'all let me know. It's about the footage is about 51 minutes. Did you all want to watch the meet and greet? Because questions were asked and answered, and there was information, right, in this meet and greet that you may need for some context for this evening's interviews, right? um and this evening's interviews will be specific to certain things, because we can't do anything about what happened, right? What happened happened. What we need to do know going forward is, how do we stop what happened from happening? And the way we do that is we become educated about who we need to vote for, right? So that the majority on these boards are people who are working for the residents and not working for themselves. Okay. So if you all want to see the meet and greet and hear the questions that were asked and hear the responses that were given, then let me know in the chat. Okay. If it would help voters, then it is important to view. It is very important to view, and I feel like it's very important for context. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to play it, and I'm not going to be on the screen. I'm going to let you view it. I have 1,000 things happening in this background, right, that I need to start preparing for. So I'm going to be working on some things. I will be monitoring the comments. So I'm going to be working on a few things while you guys watch this meet and greet. I'm going to come back. We're going to talk about it. We're going to discuss what we may want to discuss this evening, and we will go from there. Please like, share, and subscribe to this channel, this video. This is an exclusive. You only going to see this video right here, because no one else was at the meet and greet, I believe. And so, and I believe that these meet and greets are very important for the parents and the residents of Dolton School District 148 to be attending, so that you can talk to these people in, in an intimate setting, and be able to ask them questions and see how they respond, right? Okay, so I feel like these meet and greets are very, very important. If you can attend them, I would advise you to attend them, because then you can get your specific questions answered. Okay, but I'm gonna put this video up. I'm gonna let it play, and I'm not gonna be here. You guys are gonna be able to listen to the video. Then I'll come back and we'll get into it. Okay, is that okay? Nobody's talking in the comments. I know I'm talking fast, but I promise you, I have a million things going on in this background that I need to tend to. Hey, dear world Christian, how are you? Hey, super producer, the debate Saturday was a hot mess. Child. I don't feel like that debate was um properly put together. It needed more time. You needed to do things properly, made sure you have proper questions that made sense. You need to have proper moderators. You need to make sure that if you wanted certain people to attend, that they could attend. You can't just be doing these things and thinking that people can attend on your whim. No, people have schedules and they have things already set up in their lives. So for me, that debate should have been set up months ago, right? Months ago. You need a month to properly plan something like that. So that, for one, all the residents, that wanted to attend could attend. And, I don't know. I just feel like that wasn't done. I feel like it was something that was rushed. And that's just my opinion. Okay. So I'm going to play this exclusive video from the meet and greet. I feel like there were some great questions asked during this meet and greet. And yeah, there you have it. Let's go.
And then we can find out firsthand what they need. What do they think they need to be successful in their careers? Because nobody, as a teacher, that was asked of us, but I don't know if it was ever. I can't say that it was ever like they asked us and then they said, okay, we'll get y'all that, but I just don't feel like they were present. The board was present in my career, So I just would like to see us be not just, maybe, set up some time just to visit the schools, just to find out what's going on in the schools, how the teachers are doing, what do they need, what do the kids need, so that we can work toward being a more successful district and maybe invite people to start moving back in these villages.
Right. And we definitely want to push more transparency. We want more community involvement. We want our parents to be involved. Currently, our board meetings start at 5 o'clock. And that has nothing to do with Dr. Randall and I. We voted for a later time. If you work, a lot of people work 9 to 5. So how in the world could you be at a board meeting that starts at 5 if you don't even get off until 5 o'clock? Even if you got off at 4 or 4:30, you have to allow for transportation. Some people have to get home and feed their kids or, something just get set up so that you can prepare yourself to come and be present for a meeting. So the board consists of 7 members. And we all know that majority vote wins. So if you have 4 people voting, well, yeah, we want the meeting to start at 5 because they want to intentionally not involve and not include the community and not involve or include Dr. Randall and I, because both of us work full time. Then you won't be able to do that. You won't be able to have the community included. But we are advocates for being transparent, letting you all know what's going on, and letting you be included. So once we're on the board, we are definitely going to push and vote to have the meetings pushed back so that they can accommodate the parents. Because we're here for the community, for our students, for the parents.
So I'm sorry.
I'd like to ask you a question. At the last board meeting, was that the last Tuesday? And one of the things that she said something about baby mamas. So many baby mamas and they not taking care of their kids and whatever. I detest that term. I see nothing wrong with single moms, single dads, however. But I'm wondering what you could do in the schools to reach those mothers and dads. Is there any, do you have any suggestions as to how do we go about getting these mothers and dads? I know they're overwhelmed. I know they don't really know how, some of them haven't been well raised themselves, so how do I raise somebody else?
Right, to know better is to do better.
So, do you have any suggestions as to how we can bring them into the community, bring them into areas like the library, like the parks, so that we can help them?
Right.
So we have a candidate who's not here today, Sherry M. Bush. She's a parent mentor in one of our after-school programs. And so part of this after-school program is to really focus on empowering and employing community members in this parent mentoring program. I think that needs to be something at the district level. I know a couple of board meetings ago, I inquired about a parent coordinator so that this person can work with our community to help provide supplies, resources, and needs, and then, like you say, educate them and have a connection to the school. So I think we need to look at how our parent committees are run. We do have what is called a parent advisory committee, and how that committee is actually reaching out to parents and making sure that we are supporting, going back to what Ms. Johnson is saying, when we do those parent advisory, those are at 5 o'clock as well too. So you have working moms, and then you have to make sure there's child care or daycare, which we do try to provide at those events, but we need to be more intentional and not just having parent advisory meetings 3 times a year, but making that a focus as part of the work that we're doing every day and every month. So that is definitely something that, as Ms. Johnson said, we get onto the board, we can present that as an option and doing more parent, utilizing our parent advisory in a more equitable way than what it's being utilized for right now.
I'd like, as a member of this community, as a parent of this community, as a employee of this community, and hopefully a board member of this community, I would like to see more parent involvement. And of the 30 years that I've been in this community, I have not been able to figure out how to get parents involved. And I'm living in a glass house throwing stones because I wasn't as involved as I should have been. I was involved with my kids at school in Lincoln. I was very, well, my husband was. I wasn't. They thought he was a single parent. But we were involved in their activities at school. And I would just like some suggestions from the community as far as what do you think we can do to get more parent involvement? But sometimes we're at a standstill ourselves. We don't have all the answers. Just because we're educators, just because we are on the board, just because we don't have all the answers. So sometimes we do need some people to go, I think y'all should do this. Well, I think it might be a good idea if you tried this. And then, we could try it and see if it works. But, it takes a village. It literally does.
Yes, sir.
Just getting here,
Thank you for coming.
I got a question. Will you guys support a flat tax levy? Being here and resident in Riverdale, been here for over 5 years now. And every year we have been here, our taxes has increased. And that's because a lot of the public doesn't understand. Majority of your municipalities, your school boards, your park boards, library boards, they have they are a taxing body. And they can raise their levies 4.99% without coming to the community, because if you go 5%, it's done by referendum. And so what I'm going to do, starting at the village, moving on down, I'm going to every taxing body, and I'm asking that they pass a flat tax rate on your levy, because increasing those levies increase our property tax. My mortgage, when I first got here to Riverdale, was $750. now it is $1,100. And I'm not getting the services that I'm paying with my taxes. You're not getting it. So it's taxation without representation, and it gotta stop. So I'm asking, and I wanna know as a voter, will you support a flat tax levy?
And I won't say what I support, because I represent the community. What I think, like anything that we do, we need to have the voice of everybody at the table. So if this is something that the community want, then we need to build a committee or talk to our parents, have their input, because that is, you know, although we are elected officials, we are representation of people who are in the community. And if we're making decisions and not, getting surveys out, talking to those doing focus groups, then we're making decisions that people may not be happy with. When we have board meetings and we talk about tax levies, our constituents are not there, right? It's every year we have to present a budget hearing. So that is the opportunity and the time for people from the community to come out and hear about the budget. And we also the same thing with the tax levy. But if we inform the community, the problem is they don't know. So when we're doing the tax levy discussion, that should be some communication going out to the community saying, hey, this is the board meeting you need to come to, because this is the time for your voice to be heard. And the same thing with our budget hearing at the beginning of the year. This is the time for you to come. These are certain meetings, and that's what we are hoping to do as board members, is to educate our community to come out and voice their opinion when these types of decisions are being made at the school level.
I'm sorry to say this, but the question was, would you support it? That was the question
I
he
know,
asked.
and I can't answer that question yes or no, because I don't support anything that increases my taxes. But I also have to look at, if we're increasing taxes, what are those taxes going to support? So and now when I was a principal, I supported the referendum. I was one of those that raised our taxes for building a new school. So yes, I did support it at that time. Right now, in the economy that we're in, I'm not about raising anyone's taxes. So this will be that point in time where I would say that. Other board members can speak on that.
Okay.
Could I ask another question? It's in regards to what you're talking about. We used to, everybody that's been here in Riverdale for a long time, remember we used to have town meetings? We would have meetings at the police station and, there's a problem with our village. The trustees are in lockstep with our mayor. So we have to engage our trustees and tell them some of the things that we want. If we want town meetings to express exactly what you're talking about now, then we can have a town meeting. But somehow they don't want us to get together. It's like keep us separate, and then I can do what I'm gonna do over here and you don't know anything about it. So if we can request at the village meetings, we want a town meeting. We want to talk about, what is it you were saying, where's Mike, what you were saying, Mike?
Oh, taxation.
I mean, we want to talk about anything we want to talk about, but let us come together and be able to do that. So I don't know, are we still able to use the senior building down here?
As far as the village, we can't speak on that because we just do business as a school board, so I'm not sure. We will have to inquire with the mayor about that.
Yeah, we would have to, because that's another place that's open, it's ours, our tax money pays for what's going on down there. It should be available to us. If we want a town meeting, then we should tell the mayor, we want a town meeting down there. We want to discuss this, that, and whatever.
And then invite the school board.
And invite the school.
And the school board can be a part of that conversation.
Miss, I don't know your name. What did you say your name was? Miss Gordon, the guys that was at the meeting with us, I have their numbers. It's Mr. Tax Travis, am I right, Mike?
Yeah, I wrote his name.
And Mr. Richards. I started to call them because I didn't see them here.
Who were the people you?
Those two guys that was standing up in the,
Travis.
Travis and Mr. Richards.
Oh, God.
Okay, but he's sometimes, let me explain something to you. Sometimes the most boisterous people are the people that you need. Because people like me, I'll sit back for a good little while and not say anything and let it pass me by. But I feel that those two working together, I spoke with them yesterday. Those two working together, and probably Mike can get involved, can really try to get things rolling. Because we could sit here and plan and talk to each other all day and nothing ever
No, I'm
happens.
not saying.
So no, take that personal. Stop. Don't do that. I was saying. So what I was saying was, I'm going to send this. I'm going to send this to Mr. Richards and Mr. Travis, and let them know that this is our intentions,
Okay.
and that we would like to get something together. He had said at the meeting. I'm not going to get too long with this, long-winded. He had mentioned at the meeting about coming over here to Ruby's. You know, that's what amazed me, because when I got here, I didn't see him. So I'm going to make sure that I send this to both of them. Okay? All right.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
My other question is trades. We know a lot of our students are not, just be honest, not gonna go to school for education. Will you guys support a barber trade, a trade of carpentry, to introduce to our middle school students that are coming up so that they can be a part of this? Because I think with barbering now, they can get involved at the age, thinking maybe 6th or 7th grade, and obtain their hours, and then once they reach of age, they can get their licensing. This is something I think that we need to push and implement in our communities, because a lot of our children, they just not, you know, the education thing is not there for them. But to have other options, auto mechanics, you know, just introductions into this. At one point when I was in middle school, we had sewing, we had at home economics.
Yes.
We had all of these things, civics. You know, this is what we need to help educate our community. Because right now, if you look, a lot of people are not voting. They're not getting involved. And we have got to find a way in which we reach, you know, the whole population. So my question is, will you support those initiatives coming back into our state?
I'll answer that personally for myself, because as a teacher, retired teacher, I feel like kids would benefit from life skills. So in my classroom, I try to associate everything with how it would work in real life. And so me personally, I would support, you know, different, because everybody's not college bound.
Okay.
Right. My son, you know, is one of the smartest people I know, but was never interested in college. And I wasn't interested in him going to college because he didn't apply himself the way he should have. But he has a level of intelligence that he can use in other fields. And I would support trades. I would support vocational. That's me personally, because I feel like we need to break away from this cookie cutter education and give kids an education that's gonna help them be successful human beings in life. And that starts with finding what their skill is. If it's fixing a car, because we're gonna always need somebody to fix our cars. We don't all need. Everybody can't be a scientist. Everybody can't be a doctor. Everybody can't be a lawyer. I need somebody to fix my car. I need somebody to do my pipes when my plumbing is jacked up. I need people to do that, and I think that starts, if we can find an interest for those kids in those levels, we could probably start something at 6th grade so that they can progress in high school and then vocational school. So me personally, I would support that.
Could I just say this? We had those programs.
We did.
We had.
Our district has had every one of those programs, what is that?
Home economics and all that.
Whatever. We had all of those programs, but they wouldn't come. The young men wouldn't. But every one of those programs, they did not show up. But now, one of the problems we have is, if it's coming from Riverdale Park, it gets held up at the village hall. It's hard to get a permit. Let me give you one example. In 2024, a program came to Riverdale called the Rain Ready to find out about the plumbing and all the problems that we were having, water in our basements. The people came, they had a $6 million grant. You know about that, don't you, Mike? $6 million grant for the village of Riverdale to split with Harvey and some of the other smaller communities. everybody, all those other communities got it. You know how many people we got taken care of? 30.
That's better than nothing.
30 people, and they were going to do your basements and route out your basements. They had things about the gutters. They wanted to beautify our median and different areas in the village to get things done. They got held up at the village hall. They were not able to get the permits. By the time they got the permits, the other cities, other little towns had gotten most of the money. So we didn't, okay, if you want to say something.
I want to say, no, we're gonna skip that over a little bit. It's a criteria that can be given in the school for the kid. It's a criteria.
It comes from the school.
No, it's gonna be in the school, in the class, one of the curriculums, in the class.
That's what I was thinking. that
It's
it
one
needs
of the
to be
curriculum
part
in the
of
class. You can't get a child to come to the park if his mom or dad don't bring it. So if you have the curriculum,
Basically I think they were like from,
okay, so I'm,
17 years old.
okay, well, we're speaking on little kids, because when I was in 7th and 8th grade, we had a home economic class, and I learned how to make drop cookies. And when I got home, I couldn't wait to tell my parents that I knew how to make drop cookies. They got so tired of eating drop cookies. But it inspired me. My whole career, through my lifetime, has been food service. I've managed Cook County Jail. I managed CPS school, all these lunchrooms. You know, I made nice money. I retired off of it. So I'm just trying to say to you, the things that you do within the school is something that you can control. You can't control what the parents do once they leave out.
Well, I wasn't complaining.
No, I wasn't saying no. When I say you, don't take it literally. Don't take it literally. I was only saying that the thing is, you have to work with the kids. You'd be surprised what the kids are more interested in than the parents, because the parents have done these things. They forgot where they were children once before. So that's why I say I think it needs to be in the school, not outside of the school. One of the curriculums, I mean, sometimes those kids sit around I've been in that classroom, they sit around all day long doing nothing. So they need something to do. Some of them don't even have gym
I
anymore.
have, my caregiver has a little boy, he's 14 now, he was 12 when she started to be my caregiver. He went on YouTube, he can knit, he
Look
can
at that.
make pants and
Look what
sew,
God can do.
He can do all now.
Look what God can do,
problem
see?
With him was that there were males in the family that were saying, oh, you sewing something that's wrong with you.
Right.
But that's another story altogether. I agree. Those programs are nice. Of course, I'll be 90 years old soon. I had every kind of class you can imagine
Me too.
when I was going to school.
But I'm not 90, but
We
I'm.
had everything. We had cooking, sewing, carpentry. We had everything in those days.
Right.
But
And I think in the schools, not to cut you off, but in the schools, they're called college and career readiness
Right.
programs. Right, and so we're talking about is career readiness. And so there are programs, as you mentioned, that are out there. You know, there's an AVID program that's out there where you can start getting kids prepared, not just for college, but how, like Ms. Harvey said, life skills. So again, though, if parents don't push for it, then the school will do the basic, regular math, reading, and writing. But if you're saying we want to see more trades, we want to see more career college readiness in our schools, there are programs that we can, have the superintendent, the curriculum director, the assistant superintendent, whomever, look into those programs and build in those trades. And also, even our kids nowadays, we also need to kind of think a little bit more outside the box. I know we always go back to how we were raised and how we did things, but that was in that time. A lot of our children sitting in school for 6 hours is a lot. So how can we build a schedule, build a lifestyle of education from them where they can actually, it's okay to teach them how to cook in the school, but that doesn't teach you how to cook in a restaurant. How do we get them to how do we provide opportunities for them to go into these actual workplaces? If you're talking about the barbershop, if you're talking about nursing homes, how do we provide those opportunities during the school day that those kids will have access and see people moving in those spaces?
It's called partnership.
Exactly.
And you need the partnership with your high school.
Exactly.
Because from your grammar school takes you to your high school
Exactly.
for learning.
Yep.
Because there are kids that have never been outside been to a restaurant, do not know how to use a fork and a spoon and a knife. So you need I think it's called etiquette class. Etiquette class. And the child sit down and they learn. You invite this person to come in. Now I know someone has written a book about it.
Yeah.
You know, so these are the type of things. You may be old and back there somewhere,
Right.
but you need to bring it from back there to up here.
Exactly.
There
So
was
it's
less
relevant
crime
to
back there than it is here. So therefore, we need to reach back to where we were a long time. If you don't know, that's why there's grandmas and grandpas and people like that could be mentors.
Yes.
Did you
Okay.
have a question?
I do not a statement, but you mentioned the word partnership, and you're exactly right. But it's not just parents; it's the entire school community. So just like you said,
Partnership with the high
Build
schools.
a partnership, not just the high schools. Why not build a partnership with Ruby to
Yeah.
come into the school?
Yeah.
So it takes the entire
Yeah.
school community.
Yeah.
Nobody can be left out.
Right.
Yeah.
And so everybody has to
Right.
participate. And even with the barbers, I mean, you got people, we had them come up to Lincoln and do, so we could build those partnerships.
That's good.
But it takes everybody.
Right.
It takes everybody. And even if for those like me now, my kids are adults, but I can't sit back and say, well, I don't have kids in the school anymore. You're still part of the school community, and so everybody has to work together.
The other thing is, a lot of times our village, well, I'm gonna say Riverdale doesn't have the facilities to facilitate a lot of stuff. I asked maybe maybe it's been a year or two, I came to the school board meeting, and I asked if they would open the schools up to allow the community to use them. Because essentially it's our tax dollars that fund these schools. And I got pushback from the superintendent. I had parents that was willing to stay and watch the kids as they play basketball or whatever. We were willing, if we had to come and get insurance or whatever, we would do it, because I do understand the liability of it. Somebody gets hurt and the school district can get sued or what have you. But we need these, because if you walk through Riverdale, you see our kids with nothing to do. And I was always told that idle mind is the devil's workshop.
gift. Yep.
So we have to provide some opportunities, because yeah, we do have a park district. They're doing as hard as they can. But I can say the park district is the lowest on our tax bill. We might pay, and we got Commissioner Betty here, we might pay the park district $100 on our taxes. That's nothing for them to produce that. So I think the school districts not only need to partnership with the other communities, but the other governmental bodies, the library, the park districts, the village, and come together to produce one thing that we can reach our entire communities.
Yeah.
You know, so will that be an initiative that you guys will support?
I think if we're elected, when we're elected, those are some things that we could bring to the table, you know, to try to initiate some of that stuff. However, we need the community to show up. It's not gonna do us any good to bring these initiatives forward and fight for these things if the community is not showing up to these board meetings. We cannot get mad about things that are not happening if we're not present to make those things happen. For example, if we were present at the past board meetings, the board that we have now would not be in place.
Right.
But because we don't come out to the board meetings, we don't know the personality of these board members, we don't know who's voting for what. It said District 148 voted to extend the superintendent's, it said District 148 board members voted to extend the superintendent's contract. It didn't say 4 people voted yes and 2 people voted no. It said the board members voted yes. So if we're not there, how do we know that Dr. Randall and Ms. Johnson voted no? We assume that they voted yes because it said the board members voted yes. We need to make ourselves present at these meetings. And one thing we can do to make ourselves present is to extend the time to make it more feasible for people who do work to get there at these board meetings. We also can try a phone blast, because they phone blast me. I don't even work in the district anymore, and I get phone blasts about stuff that's happening in the district. How come we can't do a phone blast for the district board meetings?
How come you can't have a contract at the beginning of the school year telling the parents that we need for you to come out at least 4 times a year?
That's a good idea. That's
See,
an
why can't you
excellent
do that?
idea.
Because that holds them accountable, and it'll be like you have a little line there, parent participation, put a check there, parents participation, put an X there.
Yeah, and you know, that's when I used to be a principal of a school, I used to run my school. People say I ran it like a charter or a Catholic school.
That's good, I like charter.
And I say this, well, if you pay a charter school to do all these things that they ask and expect of you, and you're paying public taxes, why do we have to be different? You're paying taxes in here.
Yes.
Charter schools and public schools require their parents to engage in meetings 2 or 3 times a year.
Yeah.
And they pay people to do, like, to educate my child, and they say part of that requirement is you are expected to engage in parent commitment, and you sign off on that. So as we are public people, yes, it's public education, we shouldn't put those ramifications, but we could have something where we're saying we need you to be a part, join a committee. What are you able to do? Even if it's like men coming in to read to our students, that may be your commitment. Maybe it's your commitment to babysit at one of our board meetings. You can watch the kids, but we all have something that we can contribute in some form or some fashion out of 176 days of a school year.
Exactly.
So I think that's
And another thing, why is it that you can't get together as a group and go to other schools that you know that are really doing pretty well? I don't want to talk about economy and how much the parents are rich and this little areas that way. There are schools in the areas that are doing pretty well with parent intakes. So has anyone ever gotten together and went around to other schools and see what happened in those?
not in this community.
Well, we need to.
But we do it as
We need to. And that's the only way you're gonna learn. I mean, that's how you, like, even teachers, you go out and you go take these little extra classes so that you can know what to do and how other people are dealing with their situations in their school. So therefore, I don't see where it should be difficult for a board to get together and then come back and tell the parents how this happened and what we should do in order to be better parents.
But that's why we need a board. That's why we need to change the
That's
face
why you
of
need
the
a
board.
parent. You need a parent committee.
Right, we need a parent committee, but we need to change the face of the board so that we can work for the community instead of working for ourselves. And I feel personally like the board members, not all of them, but some of them are not vested in what's happening in our community. And I don't know, I can't say for sure, but that's why we would like to be a slate, and, to bring some of these ideas forward so that we can make some changes and make our community a little more
So now my
positive.
question is, how can we help you guys get the word out and get elected?
Well,
Because I'm
we have
done with the
flyers.
talking.
Right, we have flyers,
So I will
we
help
have
you.
yard signs, we
I will
would,
help you all I can.
Sign up sheets.
Sign up
for
sheets.
Elections.
We
and
have, we need support at the polls. We need for you to tell 5 people or 10 people to go vote. Take those people with you. Make sure that they either vote this week or vote on next Tuesday, because that's what's gonna change what happens is we need the votes. We need the votes. We can't, if us 3 or us 4 don't get in office, we're gonna see the same movie. The movie is gonna be the same, the ending is gonna be the same, and it's gonna be a thriller or nightmare or whatever it is that's going on in your head with this board right now. We need to make some changes. So yeah, that's how you can help us. You go tell 10 people to come out on April 1st and vote for Dr. Randall, Ms. Johnson, Ms. Harvey, and Ms. Bush, who's not present. Tell them to vote for us.
Exactly.
You tell 10 people, you tell 10 people, you tell 10
Now, if
people.
you have literature, give me some literature. I'll work my area
Yeah.
of where I live.
That's what I'll do.
Right, and we need some representation in Dolton, because Dolton, unfortunately, I'm the only one that's on our slate in Dolton. And, the 3 board members or the 4 board members that we're trying to, not unseat, they live in Dolton, which means they have that community. And I'm not a, you know, I live next to my neighbor for 15 years, and I just started talking to him 10, maybe 5 years ago. I'm just not a social person as far as getting out there to meet my neighbors. I would like to be better at that. But we do need that type of support. We need people at the polls. So we got probably 6 polls. We got Riverdale, we got Roosevelt, we got Washington, we got the Dolton Park District, we got Lincoln, we got, I think, the Dolton Library, I'm not sure. But, you know, we need people. Yeah, we need Village Hall. We need people at those polls and the park districts.
And we need exactly what you're doing, stream us, right? We're out here, I don't know if the other candidates are doing a forum, but we, after the Tuesday meeting, people was like, y'all need to do a forum, and we put it together, because we heard you all. I mean, you all said Tuesday night, y'all need to do something,
That's exactly.
and we did it, right?
Exactly.
And I think that stands for something.
Yes.
That we also, going back to what you said about the public safety building, that night, I reached out to the chief of police and asked for that space. So he gave us Thursday night, we're gonna be at the public safety building at the Riverdale Police Department from 6:30 until 8. So we're doing this all again.
And may I have that sign-in sheet?
Next Thursday.
May I have a copy of that sign-in sheet that guy had? Could you send it to me? That had all the emails and
Oh,
the
yes.
phone numbers, and could you send that, could you send it to me?
Yes, ma'am. So we're here Thursday from 6:30 until 8 p.m. at the Riverdale Police Department, the public safety building. So we're gonna do this again, and we do 2 forums to give spaces for people to come and talk and meet us.
Now, how are you getting Thursday's meeting out to people?
Well, we're gonna try to text it, put it on social media, just putting it out there. That's what we're doing.
Are all the people in here from the meeting on last Tuesday? So can we have get their names?
I can send it to you.
No, I said in here.
Oh, okay. I didn't know.
That's okay.
She's got it.
Okay. I'll make a
So we
picture.
are trying to really support, like, hear your voices.
Okay, I'll write it.
So that when we do have the opportunity to get on that board, that we're saying, hey, we listen. Like, you don't have to wait till we get on the board to hear us. We heard you before.
And put the candidates'
And so
names
that's
on the
what we
top
wanna
of it.
do.
Could you put the candidates'
You
names
know,
on the
we'll
top?
give you a flyer.
No, I want their names written on top of it so that I can,
you
when I
take a
call
picture of it.
and when I talk, I can talk.
Okay.
Thank you.
But that's how you all can support us.
No, I want on top of that sheet.
Yeah, we have yard signs, if you want a yard sign. And we have several more of these cards, the palm cards to hang out. We're gonna be canvassing all week.
Okay.
So I have people here who
What
are
time
help there
are you
here.
going out?
We're going out starting in the morning, whatever. We're just canvassing, right? So we're just out. We're going to the early polling places. I was there this morning on the one in Calumet Park.
Okay.
I was out there, we have our signs out there. So we're getting ourselves out there as well. Miss Harvey and Miss Cherry has been out.
Yeah, we passed out, we took our signs to Calumet Park, we took our signs to Calumet City Library, and we took our signs to South Suburban, and then we gave flyers to a couple of our neighbors to pass out to their neighbors. So we have literature, so that's what we need. We need your visual
Thank you.
support right now. And like I said, tell 5 people, take 5 people with you to the polls. Give them our literature and tell them, you know, what our stance is as candidates for this board, for this school board.
Yeah, I just wanted to say, I'm just a friend of a friend, and I got some information and posted it on my Facebook page and got a lot of responses.
That's what I'm getting ready to
My
do.
children who are adults posted it, so you never know who knows who on your social media.
Exactly.
Who has a connection with this community. So
Right.
that's one of the fastest ways you can get
Yeah, because I posted it on my page as well, and then when people when I'm friends with somebody and they posted it on their page, I shared it on my page again.
Right.
So it's like on my page several times.
Yeah, in reference to something you said about seeing other communities, how they work, one of the ways I've seen other communities board works, they have a teacher representative and they have a student representative on their board. That's how it.
That's how you get them
Because
involved.
the board is made up of basically community. So that means if you got, community, parents, teachers, and students.
That's
and if you
PTA,
got every
sister.
segment,
That's PTA, sister.
And I can tell you, I live in that space.
Yeah.
As an administrator, we have a student that sit at our board meetings.
Yeah.
Good.
And they come back and they share the what is happening in the school, like the concerns, or
Right.
the survey of what students want. That is their job, to survey and get that information and bring it back. That is something that can be feasible. I know schools in the south suburbs are doing that, so that, I'm all about student
And that
voice and student
engages
input.
every segment.
Yes.
Now let me ask you this: are there several schools? Because how does that student get from point A to point B?
It's
So
within
what would probably work for the district is that you would start in 7th grade or either 6th grade, because you would want that student to do a 2-year term similar to board members.
Okay.
And so they will run it like an election. Once again, a life skill, right? How they have to campaign.
Right.
They want to run. They have to do a forum. They have to speak. They have to understand what it means to campaign, what it means to be a political person.
Right.
They have to get elected and voted by the constituents. And that's how it's done. That is a
Old
life skill.
school.
Yeah, that's right. But that's what I'm but making it relevant. Like we all didn't get a chance to sit on the board, right?
Yeah.
But we can do that. So you set
But
up.
we were always cheering that person that we liked.
It will be so we have three junior highs,
Right.
in Dolton 148. So then the principals will send out applications. It's an application process. They will fill it out. They will have to write a survey. And then from there, the superintendent and the principals will select the top 3 kids. And then tell them to campaign in Roosevelt and Washington and in Lincoln. And they will campaign, and in the top 3, then they will campaign in each school to
Oh,
be
so
that
it's like a
one
runoff at
So
each
then
school.
that it would be one representative for all
One-
the junior highs?
yes, one
So
representative
then
for-
how would that representative get, like if the representative from Roosevelt won, how would they get to Lincoln to speak to those kids?
Well, that was something that we as a school district would have to make available
Okay.
for them.
Yeah.
But also, and again, that's just one way. It
Right.
doesn't have to be that way.
Because
It
we
can be
can
a
have
representative from
from
3,
each school,
and they
yeah.
all can each pick a Monday or a board meeting to attend.
Exactly.
And then they can caucus with each other as a committee to say what is happening in your school, what is happening in their school, what is happening here, and then when they come back, they can sit whoever's representing on their board. So
Okay.
we're teaching them how to work collaboratively with each other as well in different communities.
Yeah, that's a good
So
idea.
that's something
Yeah,
like
205 does that. Dr. Jerry Doss
Yeah.
runs that program for 205. And how they work it is each school has at least 2 or 3 representatives that they run and they get elected. And what they do is they bring like the machines in there like it's an actual election during their lunch periods. And they vote, they campaign. What they do is they have their own separate board meetings from the actual board. And then they just come and deliberate and talk about what they did at their board meeting.
But
Like
they
one
also
issue
attended
was-
the regular board meeting,
Yep.
because we've had students,
Mhm.
our former students were on the board, and so they
Yep.
attended those board
Yep.
meetings,
Mhm.
and so, and because that's where the, information
Yep.
is dispensed, and so,
Mhm.
yeah,
And
they did
And
attend.
they worked on the issue with their lunch.
Right.
Lunch was an issue that they didn't like the lunch, so they worked to make the lunches better for 205. That was this board. And they have a judge come and swear them in. It's a whole, it's a great thing that they implemented. They came after I left Thornton, and I hate that they did that.
Right.
Because I was very
They've
interested.
changed their whole curriculum at 205, because now they have the trade stuff,
Yes, they do.
career readiness, because I got a whole flyer with all of these different programs in the 205 area, and maybe we can, you know, and that could be a committee, we could have some committees.
Absolutely.
Because I would probably be on board to, like, be in charge of that committee where the kids are.
And
But again, that's gonna require the community to come out, to
And
voice the
vote.
opinion,
Yeah.
to vote for it, and do whatever it takes to get it implemented. It's gonna
Okay.
take the entire
Because we
community.
can't, as board members, just do it.
Right.
Just do it, right? So we can present this, and we have, we call a steering committee, where we have voices from parents on the committee. You come back and you say, hey, this is a good idea, we want the board to support it. Because then we also have to make sure we can fund things.
Exactly.
Because we, you know, I would never want to put this on a parent to help with campaign costs.
Well, why don't you try to combine it when you're having one of your village meetings?
Yeah, uh-huh.
Try to combine it when you're doing one of your village meetings.
Yes.
Because if you do it like that, then now you can say, okay, we trying to get the schools together. This is about the schools. So I hate to make the parents feel guilty, but this is about the school, and now you need to step up one, you know, come out to the board meeting. And we were talking about how do you get people to really know what's really happening at our schools. There's a teacher or somebody in somebody's church. There's a teacher in somebody's store. There's somebody in somewhere that is affiliated with, I don't know how many, I didn't know there were so many schools out here. There's a lot of schools, and there's a lot of money that is being used unnecessarily. It's messy. When I listened, I was talking, I think it was Mike and the guy named Travis, I think that's his name. He was making it very, very clear that the schools need to merge together. But there's other things when merging schools. There are kids that can't walk to school, to some of the schools, and we need busing. Do we have bus services?
Yes.
Okay, so some of the schools could be merged together. Some of that money could be used for something else. Because I don't believe that a person that's a superintendent should get $30,000 when you could have been holding that money to give to the mentor when he came along. Because now this person is making money to continue to pay him to do a service that he should be doing for our kids anyway. So therefore, he is very greedy, and therefore he should be ashamed to even take the money. But he's going to take that money. But just like they were saying at the meeting, we need to make sure we put in place things that will keep these principals and superintendents from doing what they're doing. Okay? And I'm for that 100%, because I still feel that our kids I was so surprised when I found out they don't write. How you gonna sign my check? I may be working for you. How you gonna sign my check? You don't know what you mean I got to print. No. Yes. And so these are some of the things you got to prove to me that you deserve to have this money. He does not deserve to have the money.
And I think that's why it's so important also that you have educators, as Ms. Johnson and Ms. Cherry mentioned, on the board. A lot of times they don't want educators on there because they know too much. They know what needs to be done. And
They're
sometimes
friends.
people are not always, like Ms. Harvey mentioned, everybody has an agenda. And sometimes it doesn't have the children.
How long has Mr. Lawrence been in there? How long he's been? He's been sitting in that seat since my kid was in school. He's been there too long. There need to be terms for them.
But again,
They need to get
And
going.
so who came out to vote or not vote?
Yeah.
That's what I'm trying
Yeah.
to.
That's our first problem. They don't come out to vote. It only takes one vote. Like, if nobody comes and he gets one vote.
Then he's
But
on
but but I'm the type of person that I'm an enthusiastic type of person. I don't look at what happened back here. If I did that in my past relationships, I'll be messed up. Okay? You have to keep trying and keep doing. I don't care if it's you 4 now, it's the next 4 that comes along, and the next 4 that come along after that. It's called building a pyramid. And if you all the time have a downward thoughts and never have positivity, I don't like to be around people like that. Because I don't want to hear about what the parents won't do, because you're not doing anything. So do you mean to tell me you're going to stop working because you feel like, oh, you didn't get what you want, you're not going to have an income? I don't believe that. You're going to keep working until you get it where it needs to be.
And I think when we talk talk about building students' capacity on the board,
Mhm.
we're building future leaders.
That's
But
right.
We're also training them on
Yes.
what that looks like.
Yes.
Right? That it is so important
Yes.
that I have this young man, Kitty, on here. He was in kindergarten when I was a principal, and look at him now. You know, you know how powerful this is to have him in this space right
Exactly.
now, because he was a future student in our community, hearing what people are talking about that affects him. Now, however he's engaged, he's gonna remember this, right? The young people who are here are gonna remember this, because this is what we need to say you have the capacity to do. We're not gonna be in these positions long, but this is how you do it, and they have to see how it's done, and we have to bring them to the table. I am so about student agency and engaging our youth.
Yeah.
That is something nobody's asked me about.
Yeah.
If you wanna know my passion,
Yeah.
my passion is I respect people who've been down the path doing all great things, but I care about our youth, because our youth is what is gonna carry our community and how we engage them. And I don't care if they pants sag, I don't care if they got a little bit of edible in their back pocket, whatever it is that gets them to come here and say, hey, we need you because you are part of this community, and you are this community, and eventually we can model what good citizenship look like, because sometimes they don't have that. So for me, I agree with everything that you're saying, but if we can get those young people starting in these careers, get the young people vested in what is happening in their community, get them invested in some of these boards, I think we can really continue.
Well, my thing is this: you got people right here, right now,
Yep,
right here, right now,
and we thankful.
and these people should be utilized. You should ask them, what would you like to do? Would you help us?
Yes.
And it's not just for you. I'm talking about anybody that come on this board right now. This supposed to be set up whereas a parent. I'm not a parent. I'm not a parent of school. Any kids in school, but I do know from what I've seen and experienced with my kids that if you find you got people sitting here right now, ask them a question. Ask them what you think we should do. Not the school, the whole school, because sometimes you got so much negativity coming that you don't get any real positive answers. And right here, you got people sitting here that's thinking almost, I want to say, I don't know now, thinking just about the same way. Wouldn't you rather have them instead of going trying to get a whole bunch of parents that don't want to come?
Both.
But I want the parents. I want the parents. But wouldn't you want somebody? Wouldn't you want somebody that can actually stand up and talk with you? I mean, because if you have a situation, you can go to Mike, you can go to Miss whatever, and you can make that a topic.
Right. But I want to change somebody's mind, and I want somebody to change my mind. So I might not want to be there, but once I get there, then I have a different perspective. I don't like to get up in the morning, but once I get up in the morning, my whole mindset changes. So I want somebody to change my mind, and I want to be able to change somebody else's mind. And sometimes people don't want to be in that space. But once they get there, they be like, oh, this wasn't that bad after all. And that's what I would like to see. I would like to see that reluctant person be like, you know what, I'm glad I came.
So we thank you all for coming out. It is 3 o'clock. We want to be respectful of everyone's time. We have some food, so please take some. And we are going to be here, so we can talk a little bit more. We have literature. Please sign in. Like you said, we are here. What can we do with the people who are
Yes,
here?
here.
We have sign-in sheets right there. They can do that for us.
I got some in my car.
Okay.
And my car is right there, like.
Is everybody on it?
Okay.
Is everybody on that
sign? 5 or 6 sign.
Yeah, except Miss Bush is on it.
Yeah. But thank you all again for coming out. We really appreciate it. When you sign in, and don't forget.
All right. That was the meet and greet. I saw a lot of comments. I thought that the meet and greet was very productive. I like a lot of the ideas. I like the answers, some of the answers that they gave. Hey, Wyoming gal, you'll have to watch the replay because I have to get back on here in just a few because we have exclusive interviews today for Dolton West SD 148. So I got to get prepared. Let's see. Dots follows the money. He would twist himself into a pretzel to try and get it. Master G, I, I think that Dots is trying to redeem himself. He's trying to um have himself seen in a different light because he wants to get into politics. And so he is trying to change his narrative is what he's trying to do. Done messed up, teach them about themselves, respect, self-respect, not come in with your pants hanging on your, well, we'll get there, Kenneth. There was a meet and greet, Shanita, for those candidates that you saw in there. And I think that they are to be commended for engaging with the community in this powder keg of a situation, especially in Dalton, because people are already on a heightened sense of awareness with the political election of the mayor and the trustees, right? So people are already in a heightened sense of defense. And so I applaud them for even having this meet and greet where the parents or the people could come and ask them questions and participate. They seem to be taking cursive out of the schools all over. I'm helping along with his parents to teach my grandson to write in cursive because they don't teach it. Yeah, I homeschool, so that's one thing that I will be teaching my kids. I realize I'm not getting notifications, but I fixed it. Okay, well, I'm getting no problem. Okay. Okay, Shanita. Okay. Yeah, Dots just wants to be in politics really bad, and he's just really trying to clean himself up and spin his narrative around. And we'll see what that's going to look like. As it stands right now, he's trying to participate in, behind the scenes things. And I think that's where he should stay for a little while. He lives in Riverdale, so he has the right to participate, in things. And he just knows that he's not going to be able to bully or do any of those things anymore. So he's trying to conduct himself properly. The state took it off the standards, but my district said, "Heck no, we are still teaching it." Yeah, it's some things that you still just need to do, and so those things need to be addressed. But I have another video that you guys need to watch, but we'll take care of that at a different time. Um, so I needed you guys to watch that as some background just to know about some of these candidates, right? I don't know what the other candidates are doing because I have not seen them post anything about meet and greet or nothing. So they're just taking for granted that you guys are going to vote them again because, as you heard somebody say, Mr. Lawrence has been in there, I think, since they invented you being able to slice bread and put it in the packaging already sliced. So, um, yeah, so, you know, you need to think about those people that feel like you're just going to vote them because they've been on there. Right. So now we're in the era of show your work, right? You need to show your work. You need to get out here and tell the people and meet the people and all of those things. We're not doing none of that old stuff where, oh, you just been up here forever. So we just gonna continue to let you be up here forever. No, we're not. Okay. Uh Yes, golfer, always positive over here. Just trying to show how Dalton is actually taking the lessons that they have learned and they are moving forward with the lessons and they are starting to participate in their different respective places, school board, government, all of those things. Even the park district. Um, yeah, you got to. Um, yes, yeah, all of those things. Okay, so I'm gonna get off. I'm gonna feed my kids. I'm gonna feed myself. I'm gonna work on a few other things that I need to work on because I got to stay on Tinley Park neck now that they done booted me out of their group. Now I'm pissed and I'm coming. Okay, because that really made me mad today. Okay, Don't try to censor me. Answer me is what you need to do. And then the person had a nerve to ask me, how was the weather in Dolton today? I cracked right straight up, still posting, cracking up. Okay. But anywho, this is what we're doing. I love my community. Thank you guys for Tracy, I'm all over it. You don't even got to worry about it. I'm on it. Thank you guys for supporting me. Thank you for supporting my channel. Thank you. If you would please just like, share, subscribe. I working on it, Shanita. I'm working on so many things. You guys, I'm feeling overwhelmed. Okay. So I'm trying to prioritize. It takes a lot to bring these investigative lives to you with paperwork and receipts and all of those things, but it's coming together. Thank you guys for supporting me. Thank you guys for always being positive. Golfer, what did you say? SP, you're giving Dots a lot of grace today. No, I'm not giving Dots any grace, Golfer. What I'm trying to say is look at what he's doing. He's trying to change his narrative. We know who he is. He's trying to change his narrative. I don't care what he tried to change about his narrative. He's not getting in no political seat as long as I'm out here. And we all need to keep that in mind. So I will always stay on his neck when he try to run for anything. Because what you need to do is just sit in your seat as a resident. That's what you need to do forever and ever. Okay? You need to sit there. Okay? All right. So, Shanita, love you. Always genuine. I'm always here whenever you need me. I'm going to show up. No problem at all. Thank you for showing up for me. If you show up for me, I'm going to definitely show up for you. Always. That's me. Carol Morton, you left me a comment, but I need you to send me an email so that you can tell me what we need to meet about, and then we're going to meet about it, okay? Das doesn't have the knowledge that he thinks he does. Right. So he just need to sit in his seat as a resident. He can say whatever he wants as a resident. But baby, if he step back into this political arena, I'm going to be on his neck. Do you hear me? Definitely going to be on his neck. Okay? He going to be like 60, 70 years old before he probably can participate in anything. I'm going to be on his neck if he tries to run for anything else. But he can talk as a resident all he wants because that's his right. Just don't you step out here in this political arena because I'm not having it. Okay? Okay, so that's all I need to tell you guys. 6 o'clock. I see y'all back here at 6 o'clock, okay? 6 o'clock. Super producer got a lot of stuff going on. I'm so overwhelmed. But I'm trying to get it together for you guys, right? All right? I wish you nothing but blessings for your life. Like, share, and subscribe to this channel. Share this video all over. Dog Politics, wherever you need to share it so that the word gets out to the parents and to the residents. I love you guys. I'll see you in a couple of hours, okay? See you in a couple of hours.
I hope you wake up and your dog licked your makeup. I hope you get ready for work and you can't find your shirt. I hope you go on a date and your man asks for space with no place for excuses. I hope he chuck deuces. I hope all your plans fail with no money for bail and you end up in jail, but you live to tell where your space is invaded by the hate you created, trying to run through a village, lie still and pillage.